All right, so today we're going to be installing Kali Linux onto the Linux subsystem in Windows 10. So the first thing we're going to do is enable the Windows Linux subsystem. So we're going to go get that command from Linux, from kalilinux.org. So Kali Linux Windows Store, kali.org/news/Kali Linux in the Windows App Store. I'll put this link in the bio, in the video description, so you guys can go check that out. And all we're going to need is this command. So I'll actually put this in the video description. And you need to run this in an administrative PowerShell window. So we're just going to minimize this, open up PowerShell, run it as administrator, click yes when it prompts you. We're going to maximize this. Then we're going to Control V and hit enter. So that went a lot faster than it's going to on yours because I have installed this a couple times trying to figure out this video. But if you saw earlier, there was little O's up there. The O's will go all the way to the right. It might take a little while. It might get stuck, but it'll get there. And then once you get the path and online equals true and restart needed equals false, then you're good to go. If it says restart needed equals true, then restart your computer and then you can move on to the next step. And that next step will be, Dakota, calm down, is getting Linux from the Microsoft Store. So open up the Microsoft Store. Make sure you are signed into a Microsoft account on the Microsoft Store. And then we're going to search for Kali. And we're going to click on the first one, and that's the Kali Linux. And we're going to install it. It is 1.5 GB, so it might take a while. Never mind, it's only like 600 kilobytes. There's a 1.5 GB of data somewhere at some point. It might be after you download some programs and stuff. You can launch it here, which is what I'm going to do. Going to maximize this. It is going to install a little bit more, so it's going to take a little while. And then it'll ask you to create an account. And this account is just so when you open up Kali, it's going to log you into that account. And then if you use sudo to try and install stuff or do something with administrator privileges, then you'll have to enter in the password that you're going to make right now once this finishes its thing. So the Kali Linux subsystem on Windows isn't, it's not a part of Windows. It's completely separate. So it's kind of like a VM in that way, but it doesn't take up as much space as a VM because it is kind of baked into the Windows 10 OS now. And you also don't have to deal with any outside applications like VMware or VirtualBox or anything like that. This is a relatively new thing, and it's only available on Windows 10, and it's only available on certain builds of Windows 10, so make sure you're updated on Windows 10 in order to do this. And this is taking a very long time. All right, now that it's installed, now we can create a Unix username. So this is a username that's going to be used for the Kali subsystem only. This is not for Windows, this isn't for anything else. So I'm just going to call it Luke. And then for my password, honestly, the password doesn't really matter because unless they can get into your Windows account and then they want to go into your Linux account inside of your Windows account, it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit extra, but I'm going to put a strong password on it anyway because weak passwords are bad. And now we are successfully installed Kali Linux on Windows 10. Without a VM and without dual booting or anything finagly like that. So once we're in, you should always do a sudo apt-get update. Enter in the sudo password. Going to grab the newest stuff and it's just going to make sure that you can install packages and everything's going to run just fine. Once we do that, we should also sudo apt-get upgrade. This is going to install all the packages we just downloaded. It might take a second depending on how old your system is and if it's gotten any of the updates or how many updates have come out that day. Now it's unpacking. There's a lot of packages. Once everything is all updated, you can now install whatever applications you want to. So if I wanted to sudo apt-get install Nmap, which is a popular network mapping utility, I could do that. It's unpacking it. And now we can nmap, just do a simple one, 10.0.0.1, and it doesn't work. So there are some caveats with this. Not every application is going to work inside of the Windows subsystem, and that's just because there's a lot of, yeah, stop that. There's a lot of things that Windows did to make Linux work inside of it, and it wasn't meant for running Nmap through Linux. This is meant to run Linux applications that don't really require a lot of internet and don't really require a lot of hardware. It's just for running Linux applications on Windows without a VM. So if I wanted to create a Linux application myself and then run it without having an actual full-fat Linux install on my PC, this is what it's for. So I can technically install Metasploit and Hashcat and John the Ripper and run them all on Linux, but you can also install all of those on Windows, and that's not really why we're here. We're here to install Linux applications. And if you are a Windows user because you need the Adobe suite and you want to play your games on Steam and you don't want to mess with the new drivers that NVIDIA hasn't updated since 2000 for Linux, but you still want to mess around Linux, this is a great opportunity for you to install Linux very easily on Windows without taking up much hardware space. So if you guys like this video, hit like, get subscribed, hit that bell icon if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys all later.